as you may know, GB News is the home of free speech. But it's a shame that you can't say that about the Welsh Parliament. The Senedd has banned your favourite channel from being broadcast on TVs in Parliament in a move straight out of the school playground. A spokesperson for the Welsh Speaker, Ellen Jones, said GB News has been removed from the Senate's internal television system following a recent broadcast that was deliberately offensive, demeaning to public debate and contrary to our Parliament's values. There are now several ongoing Ofcom investigations into the channel. The Commission will discuss the issue at a future meeting, and staff and members who wish to view GB News will still be able to do so online in the Senedd. Interesting, because some of the people who were celebrating the idea that GB News had been banned because of the values of this channel had themselves been referred to anti-Semitism training. So there you go. GB News reporter Ben Leo, everybody's favourite, spent hours at the Welsh Assembly this morning trying to catch a word with those responsible for the ban, but found them particularly camera shy.
At the end of the day, choice is the driver of anything in a democracy, and to ban a broadcaster that's got an Ofcom licence and delivers an alternative view of things and is a mainstream broadcaster is completely undemocratic, and it's outrageous that it's been enforced on members and their staff. I mean, what does it say about democracy and what does it say about the Welsh Parliament?
What can you guys, the GB News viewers and fans inside the Parliament, do about this? Is there anything you can do to challenge the decision that's been made?
Well, we will be saying it is undemocratic, it's censorship. We will be pushing for the reinstatement of GB News. But what I would say to your viewers is make sure you keep watching GB News, make a difference and make your voices heard.
OK, so Ben was there at the Senedd, and that was Andrew R.T. Davies, who was, of course, a Conservative. No, Ben's just arrived back in London from Cardiff this minute, all right, where all the Labour and the Plaid Cymru members who push this, Ben. I mean, it's interesting because we will at some point soon anyway have a clip that you can throw to of your attempts to get it. But what was your sense on the ground there?
Well, look, the Welsh Tories are outraged by this. They're clearly, you know, a lot of our content is right of centre. They're furious that democratically they've had a news station, we're regulated by Ofcom, taken off the air by these left-leaning, what they call authoritarians in the Welsh Parliament. I went to the Parliament today to try and find some of the Plaid Cymru, some of the Labour politicians who had pretty much enforced this ban without asking anyone. The problem was no one wanted to speak to me, only the Tories wanted to vent their fury. But it's interesting, this goes back to March. So Labour member Jenny Rathbone, she called in March for GB News to be banned from all internal TVs in the Senedd because we supposedly broadcast, quote-unquote, hateful views.
Right.
The incident, the unfortunate incident that took place here a couple of weeks ago, a month or so ago, whenever it was, they've pounced on that and used it as an excuse to wipe us off the air. And it was interesting. I stood outside the Parliament today, peered through the reception, wasn't allowed in. But what have they got on the TVs? BBC News. Oh. And it's funny because Jenny Rathbone on Twitter last night, if I just read you her tweet,
she was quite vocal, actually, wasn't she? She
was banging on about, she said, pleased to report that the toxic GB News is no longer broadcast inside the Parliament TV stations. Good journalism essential in challenging times. Well, look, she's talking about good journalism. For starters, in 2019, she was suspended and warned by the Labour Party for really anti-Semitic comments.
That was a warning for her, yeah.
Yeah, and I spoke to her office today, her press team, to try and coax her out of the Parliament. She was 50 yards away inside. I was outside, freezing myself to death. She wouldn't come out. And the reason was because they said that she was having an interview with the BBC, who we all know in the last 24 hours has themselves been guilty of fake news.
They've certainly copped it. She voluntarily went, I believe, on some kind of anti-Semitism course, and she was, like I've said, issued with that warning over some comments. But I believe you did try and contact her.
Yeah, I think we've got a clip of my phone call with her office. So this is their response. I mean, we're literally probably 50 yards from her. She's inside the building. We're outside the front. She's been quite vocal about the GB News ban on Twitter. I mean, I think she owes it to, you know, the sake of democracy to come out and at least speak to us and explain her decision in supporting that ban, which has been widely criticised. And the fact she's doing another interview with the BBC speaks volumes. We're literally outside the front. Can she pop out for 30 seconds?
She's not in the office here with us.
Wow, that's a shock, isn't it? That is a shock. But we are going to be treated to a bit more of your experiences outside the Senedd later this evening, aren't we?
Yeah, I've made a great longer video of my chats with Tory members and also my attempts to speak to the Plaid Cymru members and the Labour members. So tune into the show tonight and you'll see that longer package.
Absolutely. The show which I will be covering this evening, 9 till 11 p.m. And like I said, you are going to want to watch this. It is kind of hilarious and also fascinating. The work that Ben was doing for us there outside the Welsh Senedd. Ben Leo, thank you very, very much.